as you get older,
Yep.
you have to look at things in a different way.
Mm-hmm. I'm keeping my fucking hands up. I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Step out.
Might unlock all kind of strip clubs in Omaha. We don't know. This is musty. This is disgusting.
Floyd Mayweather has taken another sharp shot at Terence Crawford following his recent traffic incident, criticizing the way Crawford celebrated his win over Canelo Alvarez. Mayweather mocked the Omaha fighter's behavior, questioning why a victory over Canelo made him act like he dominated the sport. If beating Canelo makes him feel like the king of boxing, imagine how he'd react if he had wins over truly elite opponents like Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather remarked. He emphasized that every fighter should know their place. And while Crawford's victory may seem big to him, Mayweather believes it doesn't compare to what he accomplished in his own career, suggesting Crawford simply isn't at that level yet.
Another point, Floyd Mayweather, he don't carry no guns. Floyd don't carry.
Mayweather didn't limit his criticism to just boxing. He also addressed Crawford's recent issues outside the ring, referencing his encounter with Omaha police. Calling it unfortunate and embarrassing, Floyd said Crawford should have been celebrating his victory with family and embracing his legacy, not making headlines for the wrong reasons.
Between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a chess master. Yeah, his IQ and that
the
shit.
funny-
Headlines Mayweather mentioned started taking shape early this morning in downtown Omaha, just hours after the city held a major parade celebrating Crawford's victory over Canelo. Crawford, riding high from one of the biggest wins of his career, was the centerpiece of the event. But as the night unfolded, things took a turn. According to Omaha police, around 1:30 a.m., officers spotted a car driving erratically near North 12th Street and Capitol Avenue. They conducted a traffic stop on Cass Street, discovering 4 occupants in the vehicle. Among them, Terence Crawford and his head of security, Qasem Shabazz.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Bug Crawford being harassed by cops and pulled over by the cops right after the parade. This is diabolical.
Later that day, police released a statement detailing their account of the incident. They reported that while speaking with the driver, an officer noticed a loaded firearm on the floorboard near the driver's seat. For safety, all 4 individuals were ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint. Upon checking IDs, the driver was identified as Terence Crawford, who was cited for reckless driving. The statement also addressed the firearms in the car, confirming that one passenger, a member of Crawford's security team, was legally armed. Authorities clarified that all occupants were legally permitted to carry weapons.
Once they had stopped, Crawford was identified as the driver. According to police, officers observed a firearm on the floorboard on the driver's side. All 4 people, including members of Crawford's security team, were ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint. I spoke with the head of Crawford's security this afternoon, who says he's still shaken up.
Just hours after fans had cheered him during the parade, many watched in disbelief as the same champion was seen in handcuffs on Cass Street. What was meant to be a proud weekend for Omaha quickly took a disappointing turn. While some expressed general frustration over the situation, others directly blamed Crawford, calling his actions reckless and irresponsible. According to local station KV, an officer at the scene reported that the firearm was noticed when Crawford reached down to retrieve his license and registration.
Crazy clip to show you guys right now. But isn't that a policeman holding a gun to the 3-time undisputed world champ Terence Bud Crawford's head? What did he do that was so bad that you had to pull?
The officer stated that as Crawford leaned forward, a firearm became visible near his feet, prompting police to order everyone out of the vehicle at gunpoint. According to the report, all passengers were temporarily handcuffed while the situation was assessed. During the stop, Crawford was heard clarifying that he wasn't reaching for the weapon, raising his hands and assuring officers that he was cooperating fully.
That was a nightmare. You know, future husband, just had a brand new child and, you know, children and, you know, and stuff like that. And to know that I almost lost my life last night. Because we had a police officer that don't know how to articulate a traffic stop.
Crawford's head of security, Qasem Shabazz, later challenged the police account, offering a different version of events. He claimed Crawford never reached for any documents because he didn't have them. He had already informed the officer that his license and registration were left at home. Shabazz added that both he and Crawford had disclosed at the very beginning of the stop that they were legally carrying firearms, as required by Nebraska law. Despite their transparency, he said the situation escalated quickly. Bud said, "I have a firearm too," and the cop just lost it, started yelling, "Hands up, get out, don't reach." According to Shabazz, no weapon was actually being touched, yet the tension made it feel like a life or death moment for everyone in the car.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro. Can I move my... You telling me the police at Omaha don't know who Terence Crawford is? Putting a gun in his face?
Shabazz also pushed back against the claim of reckless driving, saying Crawford questioned the officer directly about whether radar was used to determine his speed. According to Shabazz, the officer admitted no radar had been used. "Then how do you know I was speeding if you didn't clock me?" Crawford asked. Shabazz claimed to have recorded the entire exchange, including the officer's admission on camera. "I cannot. I admit that I do not have radar."
After receiving the keys to the city? Huh? Hey, yo, that cop gotta be some hater, bro. Hey, yo, that's like the NYPD holding Derek Jeter on gunpoint and arresting him after the Yankee championship parade in New York City, bro. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't even happen, bro. It wouldn't even happen. So this cop gotta be some hater, bro.
Conflicting accounts between the police and Shabazz have only intensified the debate. Crawford's team pointed to Shabazz's statement as proof that the stop was mishandled, while others argued that officers could still observe reckless driving even without radar. Shabazz described the situation inside the car as tense and frightening, with all 4 passengers, including himself, handcuffed during the stop. He felt the escalation was unnecessary, especially since they had disclosed their firearms and cooperated. At Crawford's request, a police supervisor and lieutenant were called to the scene, helping manage the rest of the interaction before the citation was issued.
She just didn't let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with.
By the time the video started circulating online, the story was already sparking debate. Fans argued over whether the police overreacted, or if Crawford had put himself in a risky situation. While some saw the incident as a stain on what had been a proud day for Omaha, others agreed with Mayweather's criticism, saying a fighter of Crawford's reputation shouldn't be involved in such trouble. In response, Omaha Police Chief Todd Schmaderer launched an internal affairs investigation to examine the officer's actions. Mayor John Ewing also expressed support, confirming he and the chief were aware of the viral video. The investigation will focus on whether proper procedures were followed when the firearm was spotted, and the decision was made to order the passengers out at gunpoint.
But they come up with guns drawn.
Wow, he had his gun drawn. Here's what TMZ wrote. Terence Crawford ordered out of the car by a cop holding a gun on a video. It says Terence Crawford was forced out of a car at gunpoint by police officers with tense exchange caught on video, and it's leading to an internal investigation.
Now, the only official charge against Crawford is reckless driving. Police have confirmed that all firearms in the vehicle were legal and that no further charges will be filed. The stark contrast between the city's daytime celebration and the late-night traffic stop became the defining story of the weekend. Omaha residents who had cheered their champion during the parade were now seeing headlines about him being pulled from his car at gunpoint. On social media, reactions ranged from shock to disbelief. Some calling it the wildest 24 hours for a hometown hero, others accusing police of targeting Crawford, while critics argued he should have simply avoided driving late at night.
The damage is already done, my guy. The damage is already done. I'll be surprised if Terence Bud Crawford comes back to the city just disrespectful to the face of boxing. Not saying that the man's above the law, but Lord child, what was y'all doing?
Mayweather fueled the controversy by saying the incident highlights the difference between their careers. He believes legacy isn't just about wins, but also the decisions made under pressure. In his view, Crawford hurt his own celebration by getting handcuffed the same night he was honored.
Mayweather, I thought, took on some pretty tough 154-pounders and it was in a young Canelo and a very tough Cotto who was punching very hard from 4 to 54. You know, remember Cotto had knocked out Delvin Rodriguez at 54. He'd still done some damage at 54, and I thought
won a title at 60.
Yeah, and I thought he knocked out Martinez at 60, and I thought he gave Mayweather a pretty good fight at 54.
Crawford's team has remained mostly silent, with his spokeswoman confirming he has no comment. No further responses have come from Crawford or his camp about the citation, police reports, or Shabazz's version. The internal affairs investigation is ongoing, and the citation remains in place. Meanwhile, as tensions rise between Floyd and Crawford, the boxing world is buzzing. Legends, analysts, and promoters all weighing in with their own opinions.
I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
Oscar De La Hoya, never one to avoid a Mayweather discussion, made his stance clear. He dismissed the idea that Crawford's win over Canelo puts him on Floyd's level, saying the comparison doesn't add up. Oscar pointed out that Mayweather faced a younger, tougher Canelo and made him look inexperienced, while Crawford had to go the full 12 rounds to earn his victory. That's why, to Oscar, the gap between them is wide. Mayweather was already a champion before Canelo even stepped into the ring with him.
But all of them kept saying, both of them, keep boxing, keep boxing.
Does anybody know where Bo is?
Max Kellerman took a different angle. Refusing to oversimplify the debate, he emphasized that greatness isn't just about the opponents faced, but how Mayweather crafted his legacy through exceptional defensive skills, often frustrating opponents before the fight even began.
And what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his way.
Kellerman highlighted that Crawford's strength lies in his ability to change styles mid-fight, adapt seamlessly, and dismantle opponents in unique ways. Rather than choosing sides, Kellerman respected both fighters' greatness, describing their careers as two distinct peaks that simply followed one another.
Floyd Money Mayweather. Why is that the option? Well, for a few reasons. One, because Floyd doesn't like anybody being called the best while he's still living. So that's number one. Number two, they have been compared to each other since the fight. Because Canelo Alvarez says, well, I think he's better than Floyd. So
Bernard Hopkins didn't hold back. He praised Crawford's sharpness, but reminded everyone of the challenge Crawford hasn't faced yet: Mayweather's psychological warfare. Fighting Floyd wasn't just about punches. It was about battling someone who made you doubt yourself every round. Hopkins suggested part of Crawford's excitement might stem from never having faced an opponent who could fully neutralize his skills. To him, that's the line between good, great, and legendary.
Pass the torch to the right guy. He lost it to Terence, fair and square, and he passed the torch. So, if you're going to have another fight, cool, but you don't need to. He has nothing to prove. He fought Terence and nobody else would.
Analysts also point to the difference in marketability, Floyd's charisma ability to play both hero and villain.
Mike Tyson offered a fresh perspective. As he prepares to face Mayweather in the ring, Tyson said, "This is exactly the kind of buzz boxing needs. Fans talking nonstop, media speculating, and the sport feeling larger than life." He also hinted that with Floyd still doing exhibition fights, anything's possible, adding, "If Floyd's already in the gym, why not consider Crawford?"
I could have, but why do something when something else is working?
Easy answer. Jeff Mayweather, on the other hand, defended Floyd by stressing the context often overlooked in these comparisons. By the time Floyd fought Canelo, he was already past his physical peak.
Tyson, it's not about records or risk. It's about creating a moment that makes everyone stop and pay attention. This whole debate goes beyond Crawford and Mayweather trading barbs. It's become a bigger story. Promoters are talking, networks are watching, and fans are dividing into camps, all wondering if these two greats will finally face off in the ring.
Floyd is the best fighter, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always love watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but...
Eddie Hearn has been skeptical, pointing,